Right, so we've got a Siege Ballista build. We've got 20 Sacred Blossoms. And I'm going to time how fast it takes me to do them. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so as I go slow as shit already. Okay, so basically, oh no. Oh no, it's awful already. Okay, um, so I'll explain a little bit. This is a Siege Ballista build. It's basically deck stacking. The bows has like, I'm sure people are familiar. The bows has like more totems, the more decks you have, so you stack as much decks as possible. And then your quiver gives you flat damage for your decks. Um, so you just do a lot of damage basically. We have like ZHP, Z resistances because we don't need them. Basically, how this build came to be was I was farming Harvest. This is my first league, so um, I was farming Harvest just to make like money or whatever, and I got like a couple Sacred Blossom drops, and I didn't know what the hell they were, and I price checked them, and they were like 1 div or like 1.2 div or something. So I was like, oh, that's sell that, whatever the hell, I don't know what that is. Sell it, give me the money. But then one time I dropped one and I ran it, and then I got you know that white life force, and then I looked at that and it was like 1.4, 1.5 div, and I was like, hold on a second. I was like, hold on a second. So then I started, you know, just buying up Sacred Blossoms and running this boss fight over and over again. I was playing, at the time, I was playing Cast on Crit, uh, the Cast on Crit, Detonate Dead. And it could do this boss fight, decently fast. When I was playing that build, I I ran, uh, what did I do? I did like 22, or I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like I did 22 of them, or no, I did like 44 in 32 minutes or something like that. I think was the time that I did uh with the cast on crit, because this boss, normally when you fight her, you'll do like a bit of damage to her when she spawns, and then like she'll teleport away. She'll just disappear for she'll disappear for a little bit, she'll teleport away, and then she'll be somewhere else, and like then you can actually kill her. Normally, you can't really kill her in that phase right there. Um, so sorry, I'm so lost. Normally you can't kill her in this phase because she'll teleport away before you can kill her. Normally, but if you do like ridiculous amount of damage, you can just skip all of that entirely. And she has another move that she does where she'll go invulnerable and she'll make like thorn walls, and you have to break out of the walls, and there'll be like burning ground, and you have to walk out of that. Um, so like that skips that in mechanic entirely. So I think when I was doing the cast on crit, I was it was like it was about 40 seconds per fight. Um, and I haven't timed this build yet. I've ran like quite a few of these already with this build, but I have not timed it yet. This is actually the first time that I've timed anything. I accidentally picked one of those up earlier, uh, and I should not have. Those are worth nothing. Oh no! See, this time isn't gonna be great. Also because I'm talking and I'm not really paying attention, and I'm all over the. Oh no, I don't have all my totems. Okay, that one took a little too long. I picked up the gloves again. Oh no, it's all going to shit. As long as I can fit everything in my inventory. Oh no. Just click it. Hello? No, this is terrible. Okay. Completely disregard this. Disregard this completely. Disregard this. I was actually really, really impressed with this build. I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive to put together. Um, I don't have like exact prices on everything. I didn't write it down. I really should have. I'll probably start doing that. It kind of annoyed me that I didn't do that now, because I want to know like how much exactly it was. That was pretty rare. I don't think I've as many times as I've ran this, I don't think I've ever gotten both those cards in one fight. Because the Bitter Blossom's actually quite rare. Not quite rare, but rarer than just about anything else drops. Or at least from what I've noticed. Yeah, so Cast on Crit was able to do this in about 44 seconds per fight. We'll see how fast this can do it. I'll go over the build more. And um I know I know for a fact, I'm not even gonna say like I think or anything like that, but I know for a fact this build is not optimized, and it's not as well as it could be, and I'm sure I could have done it for cheaper, but like I said, this is my first league and I'm having a lot of fun just doing this. So um I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I am gonna have to drop some of these gloves, I'm sure. So let me do that. Oh, I got a lot of double totems there, so I could. Here we go. Okay. Um. Oh no. Oh no. I picked them up instead of the crown. Okay. I'll have to redrop those. This is embarrassing. I also picked up 5 alt orbs. I don't even know why those are all by filter. I guess alt orbs are good. Probably shouldn't have picked those up just for inventory purposes. It makes inventory a lot more awkward. Okay. What is it? One left. Okay, one left. One left. Then I could talk a little bit about the build. Behold the first daughter of Rake. Okay. Oh no. We're gonna. Oh. Okay. We're gonna stop it there. We'll call it 6.5 minutes. Not technically because I didn't pick up the fucking crown, but okay, it was about 6. It was like 6.5 minutes. Okay. 20. Oh, and we got some violent offenders. Those. This is a very violent offender. Disgusting, disgusting Shaco. Okay. So yeah, I guess I can talk a little bit about just like farming this, how farming this boss fight has been. I've done at this point in this league, I did hundreds on the cast on crit build, and this one, I've had this working for like 2 days a day. But I haven't really had a lot of time to play with it. This is the first time I've actually gotten to actually get some good runs in. And yeah, you get the Shakos, as well as obviously you get 100% chance to get the Sacred Life Force. So you are always going to make, as long as you're buying your blossoms for less than your, you can sell the Life Force, and you can just, it sells for a lot more in bulk, the Life Force. So just go on the trade site, check, okay, if I have 10, how much can I, sell it for? If I have 20, how much can I sell it for? And then you can say, okay, if I can sell 30 white juice for this much, if I can sell 30 for maybe 1.9 div, then it's okay to pay, upwards of 1.7 or 1.8 even for your blossoms, because you're still going to be making money on just the juice itself, and that's not counting all the extras you get like the Shakos. And so you can sell these unID'd. I've never done that because I very much enjoy rolling these. 90% of these that get, not 90, 98, 99 maybe percent of these that get unID'd are just complete trash, useless. But sometimes you will get one that's worth upwards of, on the low end 40 div, on the high end mirrors, like literally mirrors. So I really like this boss fight because you get very consistent income in the life force, and then you get a some fun gambling kind of income also with the Shakos, or you can sell these unID'd. I've seen people sell these for 1 point, or not 1 point, 0.5 or 0.7 div. I've seen people selling it for that. I don't know if people buy them for that, but I'm sure if people, are posting for prices around there, I'm sure people buy for somewhere like there. So if you were doing this fight and you were selling all of your unID Chacos, I'm sure you're making a lot more money than me, who is unIDing all of them. Even though I hit an Impending Doom, which I sold. It was worth, I think, at that time, like 50, like 70, 80 div, I believe, but I ended up just selling it to my friend for 50 because he wanted to play the build. So I was like, okay, cool. I will, make it a little easier for him to, because I still made a lot, I still made 50 div. and he ended up building that and had a lot of fun with it, so that's cool. And then I hit an ice bite with elemental focus, which I still don't know if that makes it worse or better, but I ended up selling that. I ended up really low balling that one. I ended up selling it for like 65 or 70 div or something. That guy got a great price. Unless elemental focus is bad. If elemental focus is bad, then but I think it does more damage. It makes the socketed gems do more damage, but it makes you unable to inflict ailments. So I don't know, maybe that's less damage without ailments. I don't know how good ailments are on the builds that use Ice Bite. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I sold it for fucking 65 div, and I ended up making that 65 div into like a bunch more. So, well, now it doesn't look like that, but this sells for 1.9. And I got all these Shakos. And also a lot of that money went into this build, so I guess I could talk a little bit about this build. Like, again, please, this is my first league. Okay, I just I was, looking at other people's stuff and bringing in maybe some of my own ideas, or maybe just kind of trying to fit things more into my budget. Because basically, my only goal was just being able to one shot Oshabi. So, and I completed that. So really, anything more is irrelevant. So, the only thing you really can say that I did wrong in my own method is maybe I could have done it for cheaper. I'm sure I could have, but it really wasn't that expensive. I guess I could talk a little bit about this. Like I said, I didn't write down what I paid for everything, but I have a general idea of what everything cost and just how much I was making at the time. So this was this was literally nothing. You pay a little bit extra for the 20% attack speed, but that's really the only mod that matters, and then you just roll the implicit yourself. I added on the harvest enchant because I needed help capping crit just in this build, but if you didn't need help capping crit, we are converting fizz damage to cold, so I don't know how much extra damage that quality gives you, and you can take this to 30 quality, I'm sure, somehow. I don't know this game, god damn it. So I'm sure you can get more damage out of this slot. You can also get a double corrupted version. I was running a double corrupted version at one point, but I wasn't able. It didn't have crit chance on it, so I needed help capping crit, and this did it. So it works. 6 link setup with, and also like all my gems are also not leveled. A lot of my gems are not leveled, but hey, it does the job. That's all it needs to do. It does what it needs to do. Barrage Archer, I'm pretty sure this does nothing, but I just didn't know what to put here, so cool. Ensnaring Arrow for extra damage. Frost Bomb for the cold exposure. Mana Forged Arrows, so I don't have to cast it myself. And Life Tap because we, don't have a lot of mana. And then this Fractal Thoughts. This is actually terrible, I'm quite sure, because I didn't even think about this when I got it corrupted. I was just looking for like a cool corruption on it, but I didn't even, I forgot about there's a crit multi roll on it, so I'm missing 11% crit multi on this item, so that's really bad. I don't think, I don't know, we are using 2 curses, so maybe 15% increased effective curses is, I don't know, I would have to POB it. I haven't, I don't need to, the build kills the boss, so. Here we have a brisk wrap with 50% increased damage and 20, or 2% or 2 projectile gems. This just helps get Siege Ballista. I think you only have to get it to 22. So I was planning on just getting a level 20 gem, but the level 21 gem was like really cheap, so I just bought that anyways. So I'm sure it probably adds damage or something. I don't know. I don't know what the levels do. I don't know. I'm sure it's good. And then the 50% damage is obviously great. We got Awakened Elemental Damage with attacks, Siege Ballista, increased critical damage support, Awakened Cold Damage, Barrage, Elemental Focus. The ring is terrible. The ring is so bad. This was like the last thing I put in the build, and I was just like so low on money at the time, and the base itself was like, this base was like 10 div, and then I was just putting Scorn Essences on it and just trying to roll decks, and I I had to settle on a tier 3 because I just ran out of money. But now I have money to make this better, and I'm also pretty sure a lot of people that play this build, I see like on PoE Ninja and stuff, they have flat damage on their rings and not crit multi, so that's probably better. but hey, it does the job. Boots are literally just movement speed, dex, and extra cold damage. Really, the only thing that matters. Uh, the belt is dex, and some damage with some flask effect. Then we have 100% physical to cold damage conversion with I'm pretty sure socketed duration gems does nothing. Yep. But the crit strike chance again was just help easily capping crit. I'm pretty sure I went overboard because like I was having issues capping crit. So then I was like, okay, let's put this enchantment on. Let's get a bottled faith. Let's get this. So I probably overdid it. I probably don't need as much crit chance as I have, but whatever, it works out. Eyes of the Great Wolf. Uh, the attribute roll on this is really bad. I mean, like it doesn't look that bad, but you know, it's Great Wolf, so it's doubled, so it's actually really bad. But it had the Whispers of Doom allocated on it already with some crit multi. So pretty good. The quiver has the extra physical damage as cold, and it also allocates point blank for me. So that's pretty cool. Saves me a point. It's funny that it saves me a point because all right, it's just kind of ironic because I am missing passive points from the story, and I'm only level 95. But hey, the build works. I will probably eventually get the extra points and do whatever, but it's just not a priority because hey, the build works, right? Flasks, Bottle Faith, got an Onslaught Flask with crit chance and increased effect. Does increased effect work on these? Let me know. Increased effect, Taste of Hate, increased effect of a Diamond Flask with attack speed, and then a Dying Sun with adjacent flask. So I have to press one button. So those are all the items. Cost breakdown. This is, like I said, I think I already said, but this is like literally free. Uh, I've had this all league, and I've just been tweaking it between all my characters. So, how much are these right now? I don't know. I didn't. 4 div. I paid pretty sure way less than that, like 2 div or something. Near the start of the league for this. So, but I don't know. Even 4 div now, that's great. So, be cheap. This, like I said, this was 10 div for the base, and then I spent 10 to 15, maybe more than that, div on Scorn essences and just never rolled tier 1 decks. So, uh, I don't know. I don't know if that was unlucky. I didn't even remember what the chances were, so I don't know if that was unlucky or not. So, um, this was probably like, I don't know, 10, 12 div. These were like a few div. This was maybe this was like 10 div or something. I don't remember spending more than like 15. I remember this I think was the most expensive thing, like 15, 16 div, something like that. Uh this was actually pretty cheap if I remember correctly, like 10, 12 div, something like that. So nothing really crazy expensive. It was honestly pretty cheap. We can look at the passive tree here. Um Kind of standard. Feel like Siege Ballista, fluid motion here. This gem is great here. I do need to get I think I could very easily get another totem or two with some extra passive points. Uh this would be 40 flat dex right here, and with as much increased dex as I have, that would be a lot. Rain of Splinters for additional projectiles, more dex. We've got just dex on these, dex and cold damage, and just a bunch of added damage. Um, I really just put together, you know, kind of whatever I could. Um, Dude, this was so cheap. This was like a div or two. This one's definitely getting replaced. Certainly, it's not even a 12 passive. I mean, I say it's getting replaced, and like I want to make. There's a bunch of upgrades like I want to make to this, but it literally already does the one thing I want to do with this build. I don't really plan on doing anything else with this build, so uh, I don't know. I don't. What's the point, right? Watcher's Eye with Cold Pen, Dex, Dex. And this, actually, this might have been the most expensive thing in the build, because I think this was 25 to 30 div, actually, this jewel. Uh, because if you'll take a look here, we've got 5% increased dex, 5% increased dex, 5% increased dex, 5% increased dex, 5% increased dex on all uh great, or not this one, great node. This doesn't do anything for the build, but 5% dex is great. In a normal build, this is obviously a great node. Um great node, great node. Again, defenses does nothing for this build, but this would normally be a very great node. This also having max life is amazing. This having max life is amazing. Are any of these other ones good? I don't know. This jewel's crazy. Uh Movement speed is crazy. Increase effective non-damaging ailments. I don't think that does anything uh for this build. We've got another 12 passive. Crafted this one myself. This one's actually really nice. I get a lot of dex from this. How much do we get from each node for this? 14. 14 dex per node. So very nice. Pretty bad that it has to fuel the fight, but hey, the Exalt Orb giveth and taketh. Split personalities. I just bought decks in it because they were the cheapest. Strength might be better. I don't know. Maybe there's a different stat that's better. I don't think so. Um, a lot of people you'll see they'll go like this way, down the tree to get over here, and they'll put a fluid motion here. And this fluid motion ends up giving like a lot of decks, I think. Um, but I wanted to get a lot more value out of my split personalities. So a friend suggested instead of going that way, we would just go this way through the tree so we could pick up this dex node, this jewel slot, and I had to go over here for these totems anyways. So it actually just works out really well, I think, to go that way. But yeah, I mean, if you obviously wanted to take this build and put defenses on it and health and blah blah blah, and get all your passive points and maybe some more defensively oriented gear, I mean, yeah, it would be a pretty good build probably to just tackle a lot of content. I also didn't run my last lab. I still haven't done that. So there's a lot of there's a lot of improvements that can be made. I'm sure, but hey, it does what it needs to. I think I went over everything. So, if you were interested in this and appreciated it, thanks. Uh, and I hope you guys are killing Oshabi more, because I hate her and I want her dead as many times as possible every league. So, uh, thanks for watching.